here in Denver, Colorado. It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah, we'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Early on the turn. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds here.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Kaplan and Crew with just the crew. Alex Padilla and John Browner with you guys here on a Friday. Joining us now is a great friend of the show, Dr. David Chow, pro football doc from Six Score. Doc, first of all, it's great to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in like forever because I'm so used to seeing you on Sundays during the football season. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I saw Browner the other day. Did you win at the track?
Yeah. No, I had my money on Scott's horse, and we started off in first, and we ended in last.
Oh no! Were you out at opening day? Were you at the Great Friends Stables opening day party?
Yeah, I was at opening day. I mean, I only bet 2 races opening day. I don't know anything about horse racing. I won one of them, and I was like, okay, call it a day.
Yeah, you did better than me, Doc. You did better than me. I saw Doc at the opening party looking fly. Had his suit on, looking ready.
Oh, good. Well, essentially, see, the problem, the reason I can't win at the races is, go down to the paddock and look at the horses. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's essentially what we do at Sports History Central, right? How's this guy moving? What's his injury? This, that, the other. Sure. All you guys who know about horses, go down to the paddock and get your info. I don't know what I'm looking for, so I'm out on that.
We had to. There was a survey conducted about the best parks around America, like sports parks, football, baseball, basketball, all the stadiums. Petco was 19th, and I know you've traveled a lot of stadiums. You've had a long, lustrous career. What would you say your top 3 stadiums are that you've visited as a professional?
Well, it all depends, right? It's all about the perspective of things. If you're throwing parking in there, Petco might be lower. Okay. But that's a whole. I probably don't have the special media passes that you all have when you go there. But I like Petco Park, but it's just different. I mean, all-time parks. I mean, Fenway, it's old school. I spent time in Chicago, Wrigley. How can you beat that? It's really hard, right? For the newfangled parks and whatever, Petco is really pretty good, and actually it's been around quite a while now, so it's stood the test of time. And even football, it really depends. It's all in the eye of the beholder. For example, in some ways, I couldn't love the Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium anymore, and in some ways I couldn't hate it anymore. When it first was introduced, it was amazing and different. I mean, up in the corner and a standing room only, go-go dancers. And at first, they even made the visiting team walk through a bar area with just stanchions. And I'm like, this is going to be bad. There's going to be a visiting team and home team fracas there, with drinking patrons. Actually, what happens is the only people who go to the visiting team bar end up being Charger fans. So it was actually very friendly and a good pump up seeing people on the way in and out of the locker room. So love that part. I love the Jumbotron at the Cowboys when it was first introduced, right? Because it was huge. But I hated it as the team doctor because I walked away with a sore neck. It is set up
Oh,
for people in the
yeah.
stands to see. On the field, oh my God, your neck was so sore at the end of it. So beauty is always in the eye
Yeah.
of the beholder, is what I would say.
All right. Well,
That's true.
Doc, Pro Football Doc at Pro Football Doc on Twitter. Sixscore.com is the website for Sports Injury Central. Yesterday, kind of a brutal day for injuries, at least the reported ones yesterday, Doc. I'll start off with the big one here locally in Southern California. At least I think it's a big one because maybe not the injury itself, but what it means for the team. Justin Herbert confirmed plantar fascia in a walking boot, according to the team, for 2 weeks. I played the clip that you made yesterday, saying that you're pretty optimistic he'll be ready for week 1. Can you kind of share what that means, plantar fascia, walking boot, and a timeline for his return?
Plantar fascia is the bottom of your foot, like the arch, so to speak, and where it inserts on the heel where it's sore. People who've had it swear, oh my gosh, it kills you and so forth. Here's the good news and bad news about the plantar fasciitis. The good news is I don't think he's going to miss any game time. I've never had a quarterback or a player like this. You can take an injection and play through. But the problem is it can linger, and it can linger beyond 2 weeks.
Right.
And, what's going to happen with Herbert in a new offense with Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman missing all this practice time and getting used to the new offense and acclimated. And what does that do? And nobody likes lingering issues. So hopefully the Chargers can get on top of this before the season and have it be a minor issue. I assume he probably had an injection to treat it. That's why he's in the boot right now for a couple of weeks, and we'll see how he responds. It is his back foot, so he steps into throws, but he does have a powerful arm, so he's good. And by the way, just for full disclaimer, as I said in my video, I deal on insider knowledge, not insider information. Marco, the head athletic trainer, does a great job, etc., but I'm not calling him to say, hey, what's up with
You're not Scheftering him? You're not Adam Scheftering him? You're not getting inside info?
I talk to him all the time, but he wouldn't tell me anything about that. If I asked him insider injury information, he would rightfully hang up on me and not answer the phone call. Medically, you just don't do that. It's like asking a reporter his source. You just don't do that. So I'm just doing it off of what's publicly reported, video, and insider knowledge about how these injuries work, as opposed to sneaking information.
Doc, there's never a good time to get injured. But if you're going to get an injury like this, from a doctor's perspective, is it better to get a plantar fasciitis injury at the start where you can rest it, like the preseason that they have now? Or is this something that there's never a good time to get this particular injury?
Well, there's never a good time because it can linger. However, I would have to say usually it is preseason, right? But the problem is it's a new system and a new quarterback. And I think Justin Herbert is very smart and he can pick up any new system quickly. And it's supposed to be a run heavy system. But guess what? The quarterback is intimately involved in the system, not only in quote handing the ball off, but audibling into and out of running plays. And sometimes there's 2 plays as you come to the line of scrimmage, et cetera, and getting used to, the blocking schemes and different things. Every offense is still very different. It's a very mental game, even if you're running the ball, not just with passing and routes. So that's where the acclimation issue to a new system is probably a bigger deal this year for Justin Herbert.
All right, Doc, we got about 3 minutes here left. So you think Justin Herbert back for week 1. The other reported injuries yesterday, DeAndre Hopkins, Titans wide receiver, out 4 to 6 weeks. I think it was an undisclosed right knee injury. Any info on what's going on with him? Like, I have a fantasy draft today. Should I just avoid him completely?
Well, it depends. Are you talking round 15 or round 3?
Right.
It depends. It's all about value, right? And look, this shouldn't end his season. The team said knee strain, STRAIN, which means they're saying it's a muscle injury as opposed to a ligament injury, if the reporting is correct. So, but they're already saying 4 to 6 weeks. And let me tell you something. There is look, have you seen an injury report yet other than a guy who tore his ACL or Achilles and they say that he's out for the season? Every injury says 4 to 6 weeks chance to play week 1. Have you seen one yet that's going to, it's looking like week 3 or week 5? Right. I mean, it's either yes or no. Hope springs eternal. So let's hope that's the case. for DeAndre Hopkins, but yeah, that's not a guarantee. 4 to 6 is sort of the placeholder, right? Because that puts you right on the cusp of week 1.
Right. And then finally here, Doc, about 90 seconds to go. Dante Foreman, you always kind of freak out when you hear about a player getting helicoptered to the emergency room, right? I don't know, as far as fantasy value set aside, just as a player, as a person, that's kind of scary when you read about it and you hear about it.
Well, it's very scary when you say potential neck injury and you hear the word helicopter. But, you know, we put out a video, but I guess we didn't get it out quickly enough. We were saying, look, I'm not really worried about this. We're assuming this is precaution. He got hit in the head, had some neck pain. It's normal to go on a spine board. But when you're practicing at Greenbrier in the middle of the forest there, and the closest hospital is 2 hours away, and it's sometimes windy roads, it's medical protocol. I mean, if you get in a car accident and it's not life-threatening, you may indeed get helicoptered out of there, right? And if the Browns are practicing in Berea, Ohio, they would have taken a regular ambulance to the hospital and get checked out. This is just out of precaution, and he's already negative and been released. But I get how it scares people when you say spine boarded off and he took a helicopter. But it's sometimes I'll say in training camp, oh, they got carted off. Well, they got carted off because the Cincinnati Bengals training field is 3 blocks away as opposed to next door.
Sorry to cut you off. We just have to hit this hard break, Doc. At Pro Football Doc, 6score.com is the website for all your injury analysis. Check out Pro Football Doc. Doc, always thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Yep.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Thanks to Dr. David Chow for checking in from at Pro Football Doc on Twitter. 6score.com is the website. Get all your injury analysis there from him. But yeah, positive news if you're a Charger fan, at least coming from Dr. Chow. Says Herbert back week 1, no problem. It'll linger, but he'll be fine. Browner, what we didn't get time to ask him about, and I was going to ask him just for you. Mike Trout.
Ooh-wee.
Out for the season again. Retore that right meniscus. Mike Trout out for the season again.
Listen, man. SportsGrid, welcome. When you stop drinking the juicy juice. Nah, juicy juice is a real thing. It's on the grocery store. Okay. When you stop drinking the juicy juice, it's weird how your muscles just tear off the bone. It's
Since
weird, man.
2019, the Angels have paid Mike Trout $191 million. The remainder of his contract is 6 years, $212.7 million remaining. Mike Trout out for the season. Oy.
It is time for that relationship to end.
But how?
They're gonna have to eat some of that, and
All of that.
somebody with a really big payroll is gonna have to take that. Like that has Yankees or Red Sox or Cubs or somebody in that nature written all over it.
In
Somebody else has to
2019,
take that.
sorry to cut you off there, dude. In 2019, he made $36 million. He played 134 games. Awesome. Great. In 2020, that's a shortened season. I won't bring that up. In 2021, he played 36 games, got paid $35.5 million, averaging $986,000 per game.
That must be nice.
In 2022, he played 120. Not bad.
That's better.
In 2023, played
Better than
82
36.
games, made $35.4 million, averaging $432,000 per game. And in 2024, Mike Trout played only 29 games. You want to know what that average comes out to when you're making $35.4 million?
More than $1 million a game.
$1.2 million per game.
Yeah. What's this guy? A quarterback?
Oh, my goodness.
Bruh.
And I want to repeat what I just said. He still has a 6-year, $212 million contract remaining.
You got, again, that marriage has to end. For whatever reason, it's gone longer than it should have. And it's time for both these parties to go their separate ways. Ohtani realized the writing on the wall. He got up out of there. For some reason, because I've always said this about Mike Trout. He doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't want to be a superstar. He wants to get his money, and he wants to go home. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, then there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to do that,
nothing wrong with that.
and if you,
There's
by the
nothing
way,
wrong
if you
with
want to do that, Anaheim/LA/Orange County/Disneyland, it's the perfect place.
The best place to do it.
It's the best place.
No
to
one
do it.
will
The
care.
Angels have been irrelevant on the stage besides Ohtani. As far as a baseball team goes, the Angels have been irrelevant in the face of baseball forever. Forever.
The most important thing they did was that movie Angels in the Outfield.
And I don't even think they did that. I think Disney did that.
So
didn't Disney do that when they owned the Angels?
Right.
Right.
That's probably why they bought the team to make that movie.
Artie Moreno probably wants out so bad. I mean, he
Right.
wanted out of Anaheim. He almost moved him to Long Beach.
Do it. Get them out of there.
Yeah.
It does. The team doesn't make any sense because now between what's happening here locally in San Diego and what the Dodgers have been doing for a decade in Los Angeles, they're irrelevant. So that's the type of team you move them to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
That's the type of team if Cedar Rapids, Iowa is looking for a Major League Baseball team, that's the team you take. They're the West Coast version of the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, no one cares. No one cares.
There's a fun fact for you. And I know Scott hates that term fun fact now, but here's a fun fact for you. When you translate the Los Angeles Angels to English, all of it, it's the Angels. That's their name. That's their name.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Totally embarrassing.
But anyways, Mike Trout out for the season. That was big news yesterday. He retore his meniscus. He came back, did one rehab game, was pulled,
and got
he
hurt.
tore it then. So like that training staff to even allow him to go back on the field when he clearly was not ready. That they got it. Honestly, I'd be so pissed, dude. I got to investigate that or something, man. Brutal.
Listen, tell that brother that going down to the grocery aisle, go in the juice aisle, and pick up a gallon of juicy juice. He'll be all right. It'll come back.
You're the worst. You're the absolute worst.
I'm not. I'm just.
You're the worst.
That's a real product. Go to your local Vons or Kroger's or Walgreens or Jewel Osco if you're in Chicago.
Well, he would probably go to like Erewhon.
Right, or Whole Foods. They don't have a juicy juice at Whole Foods though.
Yeah. Well, Browner, I'm going to switch total subjects on you so you can stop saying whatever you're saying and say the race is on. Baseball is back tonight after a day off yesterday for most NL West teams. Here's what we got lined up on our side of the coast. The Dodgers are hosting the Oakland A's, who, by the way, I think they're like 8-2 the last 10 games. Out of nowhere. Dodgers are favored -165 over under 8.5 there. The Padres are hosting the Rockies. That game starts at 6:40, and the Diamondbacks are in Pittsburgh, and that's a very important series as well because they're the two teams behind the Padres in the National League wild card race. The race is on, Browner. The race is on. I know you don't want to believe it. I know you don't want to admit it, but the race is on. The Padres only 4.5 games back. The Diamondbacks only 5 games back from the Dodgers.
I wouldn't necessarily consider it a race. I just think that at this particular situation, this juncture in the season, this is see, y'all think these other games are big.
Y'all
to
think.
me, this is a big series for them. Because
Right.
this team
This
is
is the
beneath them.
kryptonite.
Right. This team is beneath them. You need to focus.
Here's what the Padres have done against the Colorado Rockies this season. They're 2-5. Yes, they're 2-5. They've scored 28 runs. They've allowed 39 runs, and the Rockies have the second worst record in all of baseball, only trailing the Chicago White Sox, who I think have won like 20 games this year.
Who quit?
Yeah,
they quit. They quit as an organization. Here's
what's even scarier, and I know the national audience may not care specifically about this. Randy Vasquez tonight on the mound. Martin Perez on the mound tomorrow, and undecided for Sunday.
This when you get in trouble. And now Michael King did take a line drive off his human body,
which is why he's probably not going to pitch on Sunday.
But this is what scares it when you get into these situations, and because you have a low level opponent, you give them the low level approach. Again.
Well, hopefully this team has learned. I'll say that. Hopefully this team has learned, and we'll see what the Dodgers look like, man. We'll update what's going on with Freddie Freeman next, because that's a really sad story. What's going on with his family, and he's not going to be around for a while. We'll get to that.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm? And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Yesterday, his wife put a message. So Freddie Freeman, for those of you that don't know, has been out for the Dodgers for the last 5 games. He has not played in the 5 games. He left the team's road trip in Houston to be with his family. And I know we're dealing with that here, we being the Padres, with Yu Darvish doing the same thing. We don't know what's going on specifically with Yu Darvish. As far as Freddie Freeman goes, we now know what is going on with Yu Darvish. His wife posted this update on social media yesterday, detailing that their youngest son, Maximus, is battling a severe case of Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a rare but serious condition that occurs when the body's immune system attacks the peripheral nervous system. This damage can cause nerve inflammation, lead to muscle weakness, paralysis, and other symptoms. they were saying that their son was having a really difficult time even standing. So Freddie Freeman is probably not going to be around the Dodgers for a while, and the Dodgers are going into a really tough. And I know, like, as far as levels of importance go, I'm sure baseball and the schedule is not up there for Freddie Freeman as it
Not
should
right
be.
now.
And the Dodgers are about to go into a really tough stretch for themselves. We talked about it yesterday with Jeff Spiegel. They're in Oakland this weekend. Then it's Philly, Pittsburgh, in Milwaukee, in St. Louis versus Seattle. So the Dodgers are about to go into a really tough stretch. On the other side, the Padres are about to go into a really kind of weak stretch of their schedule, which is what Browner has been railing about and what he's scared about, because the Padres tend to play down or up to their competition. And the Padres are playing the Rockies, then in Pittsburgh, then in Miami, then Pittsburgh again, then Colorado. So a soft strength of schedule, but like Browner says, maybe not the best team against bad teams.
I have said this about Freddie Freeman for years. I've called him a crybaby, and I've said a lot of unflattering things about Freddie Freeman. I will say this: as a person with children, I don't expect to see Freddie Freeman this season again.
Yeah.
Because when you have something that sounds that serious, you don't know when the last moment with your child and the way that you remember them will be. And so if that means that the rest of this season goes down the drain, if I'm Freddie Freeman, cool. Because this is something that's more important to me that I need to focus on at this particular time. And I think the Dodgers understand that. I think his teammates absolutely understand that. And the situation that he's going through, it can tear you apart. In baseball, you need 100% of your concentration trying to hit that ball. That game moves so fast when it's coming your way. You need to have all your faculties working in the same direction. And with a child with that type of illnesses at home, you just can't do that. You just can't. And so, whether the Dodgers can rebound from that, I'm sure they
I believe
can.
they're 1-4 without him so far, but they're dealing with a lot as well, obviously.
Yeah. He's not the only guy that they have out. Like the Padres, who has to have multiple players out. The Padres are, as you said, dealing with the situation with their pitcher as well, who has a family issue. And so these things come about because these are so many people. At some point, someone net close to them will be ill or will have some type of emergency. And because they're rich doesn't mean that all their problems are solved. And I hope that people are very sensitive to the situation. I mean, I would still like to know what the situation is.
I think that's the difference between you, Darvish, right? Is that that's what you and Scott were saying. Like, at least just let us know. Which is, you don't have to. I don't think you have to. You don't have to. I don't think we're entitled to know. I know that Scott said, like, we should know more. But yeah, this is his wife voluntarily letting the Dodger fan base or the MLB fan base what's going on.
Right. And if Freddie Freeman, as a public figure in the city of Los Angeles, there are a lot of people who care about Freddie Freeman. And his absence has caused question, which I'm sure the wife gets it. And she's getting it from a bunch of different places. And so this is probably her release to just put it out there so other people can know.
Right.
And I think that probably plays a lot into it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, sending all the positive vibes to Freddie Freeman. That's scary, man. Your youngest son just randomly going paralyzed and being able to not stand. That's just like scary and so much bigger than baseball. So much bigger than baseball. But yeah, just a reminder tonight, the Dodgers start their series in Oakland. The Padres start their series versus the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks will start at 3:40 Pacific against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Here's a look at the NL West standings. Even though Browner says it's not a race, here's what it is right now. The Dodgers have a 4.5 game lead over the Padres and a 5-game lead over the Diamondbacks. And the Giants and Rockies, I mean, the Giants sold everybody. We don't anticipate them making any sort of noise anymore. And the Rockies have been the worst team in the National League all season long. We are brought to you by our good friends over at Athletic Greens. Browner, I take this every single day. Every single day, I start my day with Athletic Greens. Go athleticgreens.com/Kaplan to learn more. Vitamins, minerals, vitamin D drops. So I got all the things I need to start my day. athleticgreens.com/Kaplan. All right. I want to get into some Olympics when we come back because I'm all in on the Olympics, and track and field has started. And that's when the Olympics start for a lot of people. Next.
what has happened, what has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado. It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Rockfall. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. Utah Sports won tonight. It is proving to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Early on the turn. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
If you want to join in with the chat, it is always there for you. And it's good to see everybody chiming in. Alan Long, Tony Reyes, Anthony Motisi, Michael Collins, DJ Axel, Joseph Cabral, Mike McCann. I see you guys, and we appreciate you guys being here. Right, Browner? The chat list.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Like it and share.
And of course, if you're driving around, you can listen on SiriusXM channel 159 or watch on SportsGrid on any of their platforms. Amazon Prime is where I watch, Roku, Samsung, you name it, it's there. So check us out as well. Shout out to everybody. Our feedback has been really great. We appreciate the support. This is show number 10 on SportsGrid, and it's been an absolute pleasure to do it with them. It's cool to talk to other coworkers now, Browner. I actually have coworkers. I've talked to people that have to run things through, which is very, 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 very different. When you go 5 years of just doing whatever you want, having to talk,
making it up as you go along,
it's kind of nice to be back with a team. So shout out to the SportsGrid and shout out to everybody over there for having us. All right, man. This morning, I didn't watch it live because I wasn't awake at 3 a.m. But Sha'Carri Richardson, track and field is a go. Sha'Carri Richardson got the semifinal started. She won her heat. And shout out to all the U.S. women who advanced as well. All three of the team advanced to the semifinals, TT Terry and Melissa Jefferson. But, Browner, this is where I wanted to go with you. This is very important to me. This is very important to the great friends. And I hope it's important to the SportsGrid and SiriusXM audience. This morning, I was watching the Olympic 5K, the women's. They were running in 14 minutes and 50 seconds. And these were like prelims. This wasn't even the final. You have committed that you're going to run a 5K this year. Give us an update. What's going on? People want to know.
Listen, man, training is hard. Training is very hard. I'm a basketball runner, so it means 94 feet. I got that thing in my brain. I can do that in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The training for these miles have been rough, but I'm doing it. Every day I'm doing it, and it's hard. It's getting easier as I go, but the easier it gets from a conditioning standpoint, the harder it's getting on my legs.
Yeah, your knees, your feet, your ankles.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I haven't played continuous basketball this often in a very long time, so these pains have been gone out of my body for a while. And the return of running, I am on the third week, if I remember, I'm on the third week of running, 6 days a week running. My knees hurt a lot, like a lot. And I wasn't prepared for that. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I was not prepared for my knees to hurt this much.
You're supposed to run on Sunday.
Dude, I told y'all they got moved. They got moved,
No,
man.
it
They
did get
got
moved.
moved.
You just said I'm not running that race.
Yeah. I'm not running that race. No.
Right.
But I'm training to get there. I'm training to get there. I would have thought that my diet would hurt the training. It hasn't. I feel after the
I
first
mean, weren't you
mile,
throwing up on the show yesterday because you ate like a quarter pounder with cheese at midnight?
that I think something was wrong with that burger. It wasn't necessarily something was wrong. That didn't go down right, and you know, so that was different. But after the first mile, I feel great. Getting past the first mile for me
Yeah.
has found to be the key. Just keep running until you get past the first mile.
Yeah.
And once I've gotten past the first mile, because I've done 2 miles.
Is it a runner's high, or is there a scientific thing like the blood is now rushing to everything that hurts, so it stops hurting and you kind of go numb? Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I was training for a half marathon, and that first mile, I was like, I don't even think I can finish this mile. And then all of a sudden, you just go numb and you start running.
Bruh, that first mile is hell. I'll be out here in these streets running, bruh, questioning my life. But I get past that. When I get past that first mile, it just feels good. And then once I get past that first mile, I feel like I can run forever. But I'm always on a schedule because I'm trying to train. I'm trying to do that particular speed, so I can then begin to like feel good about it.
Yeah.
But that first one's from the devil. I don't like it.
So I know you're training, and I know you're not necessarily worried about time, but what are we averaging right now on a mile?
I'm down to a consistent 7:25, 7:35, somewhere in there, depending on if I have to stop for a car to go by or whatever.
So you're gonna have to still cut 3 minutes to win this race.
Overall, yes.
You got to be at least in your division. I think it was what little under 18 minutes.
Right. And so to me, again, the first mile is being the toughest. I was like, man, it's gonna be super hard to make this. But once I got past again that first mile, I run faster.
Right.
It blows my mind.
So you said that your diet you thought would prohibit you, or at least like pull you back a little bit. Are you willing to stop your diet and eat non-fast food to see if there's a difference?
That's my plan after next week. That's my plan after next week. I'm gonna go clean for 7 days. Now, if I die, we know what killed me.
The lack of fast food. Yeah. It's called withdrawals. Yeah.
I'm gonna go through withdrawals, y'all. And no McDonald's, no fast food. All my food will be cooked in the kitchen, chicken, pasta, that type of stuff.
Carb up, baby. Fettuccine Alfredo.
If the clean body feels better running, and if it'll help me, because I'm trying to find every way I can to get to that time. But how long? You right? These old legs, man. These old legs, they hurting. They hurting, boy. These knees.
So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you didn't have a soda in a day?
Come on, man. That's a dumb question. Never. I couldn't tell you the date. I couldn't tell you the date. I could not tell you the last time I had. You know what? Here we go. Yes, I can.
Okay.
I had surgery. When I had surgery on my wrist, that was a calendar. That was like a clock, 24 hours, because I had the surgery. I got out of the surgery, and I wasn't able to pick my own
have a
food.
soda. Right.
They gave me.
They couldn't put Coke in the IV bag.
According to them, that's frowned upon.
Okay.
Anything's possible though when you're in the hospital, but they didn't. And so that was probably before that, and after that, no.
Okay.
That was the only day I can honestly remember saying I did not have a soda.
One of the hardest things that I've done in my life was stop drinking soda every day. It was hard. It's hard, man. It's straight up addicting. All that sugar, all that high fructose corn syrup, dude. It's hard. To make the switch to Topo Chicos was the best / worst decision I ever made in my life.
I ain't never switching. The body's trained. Listen, soda ain't coming out. So people could give me all the recommendations they want.
Yeah.
If I don't make the time because of soda, then damn it, I just didn't make the time.
If I didn't win the race, I still had my Coke after the race.
You feel me? I still got that Mountain Dew. People smoke cigarettes and win races all the time. I'll be fine. Give me my soda.
One of my favorite. I am very jealous of the people that have reached that level of training. When I watch people run marathons or half marathons, and they'll stop and get a beer from a stranger and just drink a beer while running, I was like, dude, I would puke that up so fast. That would just I would be like the Canadian dude that swam in the Seine River. Dude.
Oh my goodness. No, don't bring that guy up. Ugh.
All right. So what is the now reported date that we're going for?
Scott said that there's one in September.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm shooting for. That if I don't make it at that point, then I'm never gonna be able to, reach the number. But the training that I'm doing, if I add another 30 days to that, I think I'll be fine. And two, getting within competition amongst other people running is also going to help me.
Right. Running by yourself and running with people.
It's hard.
Right.
Going out and running by yourself is very difficult because I also consider myself, I don't know how fast I am. I just need to be faster than you. And so that's been kind of one of my things too. And to not have that, to kind of be running against yourself is something that I have to get used to as well.
We want to set, like, since we are on SportsGrid, we got to set your over-under time at, like, I don't think you're gonna win. I think like a respectable time. If we set it at like 19 minutes, the over/under on 19 minutes, we gotta start taking bets on this, man.
I think I could get. Listen, I think I can get under 9. I'm under 19, bro. I'm under 19.
You got to cut off 2 minutes in a span of a month. That's not easy. It's not easy.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Again, it's tough. But again, there are two things that I believe why I can do it. One, after I get to the first mile, I get faster. Two, when I get running around people, my competitiveness will kick in, and that'll give me another speed burst.
All right. Well, we'll find the exact date and we'll start dropping lines, man. Maybe the SportsGrid team will make some graphics for us about your time. Your over under.
Yeah,
let's do that when we come back.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by like 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Took it down?
2-minute break. Took that thing down. Took it down. All right, brother, before we started the show, you said, I asked you, like, what do you want to talk about besides we got on the rundown? I got to give you your time, and I got to let you do your thing for your hero, Skip Bayless. Today, Skip Bayless announced that it was his final show on Undisputed. He's leaving Fox Sports 1, saying, quote, I've been planning to pursue other opportunities for several months. I had a great 8-year run with a lot of great people at Fox, but now I'm excited for what's coming up. Stay tuned. Skip Bayless, officially done at Fox Sports 1. I mean, you were one of his viewers, man. You watched his show. You loved his show. And now he's gone.
I will tell y'all this. Easy as I can say this. You may not have liked Skip Bayless, but a person cannot have the career that he's had without being good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Skip Bayless played a large part in some of the people who we come to now appreciate in the sports medium, whether that be Stephen A. Smith, whether that be Shannon Sharp, whether that be Jamel Hill, there's a long list of people who he didn't make their careers, but he gave them an opportunity to make their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And as a person who is trying to accomplish something in this business, I don't want a person to do anything for me. All I would ask is that a person gives me the opportunity to make the way for myself. And that's the thing I will always appreciate about Skip Bayless, is that he gave people an opportunity to make it themselves. Now, he profited from it, because you should. But at the same time, without him, I don't think we would have seen some of the people make it to where they made it to, at the speed in which they made it. Like the pairing of him and Shannon Sharp was perfect, and Skip bombed it because of his own ego. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of reasons why it's time for him to go, but just because it's time for him to go doesn't mean we can't appreciate the journey and the legacy that he has left on television sports coverage. Like, we're doing this, and this is successful because of a guy like Skip Bayless, because of a guy like Michael Kornheiser. We're in this position.
Tony
because
Kornheiser.
of Tony,
Him too.
Michael
Wilbon,
Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser. I can find him. We're in a position doing these types of shows now because of those men. And so I will always have a high level of respect for what Skip Bayless was able to accomplish for 20 plus years in this medium.
I like what Stephen A. said about Skip. It's like, dude, the guy's like 70 some years old. Like, it's not like he failed. It's not like he failed just because it ended in a whimper. If you just believe, television ratings, then, didn't mean he wasn't incredible successful. And the guy was getting paid like $8 million a year from Fox Sports, man. Come on now.
If you think that man failed or that getting fired is a bad thing, then all right, cool, man. But if you're going to fire me and I make $7 million a year while getting fired, I ain't going to cry. I'm going to move on to the next thing because I can afford it.
Right. And that leads me to my next thing. There's been nothing but talks about who's the highest paid quarterback, what's Dak going to get, all these other things. But we're on part of that list that you don't see. There's guys like Patrick Mahomes, who's number 11 now, Josh Allen, who's 13th. And he literally, Browner, he was on Up and Adams this morning. He literally sounded just like, he's like, what do I care? I got my money. I don't care that I'm not on that list.
I'm all for guys getting paid. This is a league where, it's the NFL not for long. Everybody's been saying that since, I was a rookie. You gotta appreciate your time in this league and understand when to strike. And for quarterbacks, when your time's up, it's your time to get a deal. So I'm just happy that guys are getting paid because, again, that's generational wealth for them and their families.
Like, bro, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I got
it. And this is what people don't understand. Until your number's up, you're not sitting around looking at other guys' numbers. Unless you're Matt Stafford, you're not really doing that. You're not.
Stafford did it for different reasons. I think Stafford just wanted his money to be guaranteed.
Cool. But you don't see Lamar Jackson worried about Patrick Mahomes' the money. You don't see Joe Burrow worried about,
Tua?
Jalen Hurts' money or Tua's money. I got my money. I hope you get your money because we all doing the same thing. So you raise the bar for the next guy. And they're all looking at Dak like, go, brother. Get as much as you can at the Cowboys because as much as you get, the next guy will get.
Right.
Now, that's the problem with the system.
Because if you're Dak Prescott and you see Jordan Love got what he got.
I can't take less.
I'm not taking less.
I can't take less. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm not taking less than nobody with less numbers than me. And there's few people with less numbers than me.
Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter your numbers. Your numbers are irrelevant.
Yeah, it really does.
Your numbers are 100% irrelevant. You know what matters?
Your turn.
I'm next.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It. Yeah, because if I was going to sit here and argue about who's better, it don't matter. Jordan Love broke every single talking point ever about anything because Jordan Love had played one season, won one playoff game, and then blew another one and became the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So if I'm Dak Prescott, I don't say a single word. I'm like, Jerry, Mr. Jones, when I'm doing contract negotiations, I'm next.
That's it.
And if you don't give me the money, then I'm going to go somewhere else, and they'll give me the money.
And this is the thing with Dak Prescott, because I don't think the Cowboys should give him that money, because the Cowboys' all-around talent is great. Their individual player talents, not so much. Outside of CeeDee Lamb,
who's holding
outside
out?
of who wants that? He won't join Justin Jefferson money.
Which,
that
by the
ain't
way,
gonna happen.
He's next.
But where? And here's the problem. Where does the next stop? Because if I'm Jerry Jones, I gotta sign Parsons. I gotta sign Michael Parsons. I gotta sign Dak Prescott, and I gotta sign Stephon Diggs, Trayvon Diggs. I'm sorry, and I gotta sign my wideout. I gotta sign all these dudes. So if I'm looking around, of these 4 dudes, which one can I afford to? Which one's harder to replace? And
Dak.
But I also got to look at the guy who I've had the longest that hasn't gotten me anything. Dak. So if I'm going to change over something as the owner, I'm changing Dak out and I'm paying the rest of these guys, because what I do know is that he can be great and I can still get nothing. I know if I get production from these other guys and I throw someone else in this slot, there's a good chance that we can be better with a different person calling the signals. I know what I'm getting with Dak. I know what I'm getting. So
all right, let's keep it going the next segment, and then we'll wrap up the show for the week. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Yeah, we're going to get there because I think the Cowboys have a chance to do something very interesting.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm? And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Guys do keep chiming in on the chat or just listening. It's been a really fun 2 weeks to be able to, first of all, being live again is just, oh my God, it's like a breath of fresh air, dude. It really is. Like, it just feels so much better, honestly, even doing the show. It's just been awesome. So appreciate everybody that's been here the last 2 weeks, and we're all back together on Monday. We'll get, we'll see what happens by then. See if this race is really on with the Dodgers. Football time. I think there's 2 games on Thursday next week, preseason. And then I was looking at I saw Big Ten updated their, for the Big Ten Network, they updated their intro. And, they had to add Washington and USC and UCLA. And I looked, I was like, when is the first game? Dude, USC opens against LSU this year. I think August 30th on a Sunday in Vegas. Oh,
it's going to be lit.
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. If I wasn't in Texas that weekend, I would 100% try and go to that game. But I have no idea.
Gonna be there.
No, I'm gonna be with cousin Nancy in Texas. We're gonna go watch.
Oh.
We're gonna go watch her husband race up at the F1 circuit in Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. So
Nice.
that's where we'll be. Yeah. But dude, I'm so excited. I want it, like, playing EA college football and seeing that schedule as I'm playing on USC now. It's just awesome. Like, because it's so different. And it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And
it's going to be wild to see. It's going to take your eyes a second to adjust to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, well, we were just talking about the Dak Prescott thing, and the Cowboys, man, they have the opportunity to do something that the three of us, and Scott's not here, that we've challenged a team to do. Which is have the balls to just admit he's not the guy and just don't pay him. Now, that's a really, really scary thing for most NFL teams. And I get it. When you got a guy that's passing for 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns and you're winning games, it's impossible almost to be like, later. But they have a chance to do it, man.
The standard for the Dallas Cowboys is different. And I think that's why it's going to happen. The standard is, now, if they signed him, I wouldn't be shocked. But the standard for the Dallas Cowboys is Super Bowl. Dak has not gotten you a sniff of the Super Bowl in a weaker conference. The NFC is a weaker conference than the AFC. The quarterbacks are not as good. Like, on the NFC side, Jared Goff is considered a top-tier quarterback. If Jared Goff is the fourth best quarterback in the NFC, who's the fourth best quarterback in the AFC? Because they'd be number one in the NFC. It's I just don't understand why people can't digest that from a win or lose like setup.
Right.
Jerry Jones is trying to win a Super Bowl.
For my whole life, he's been trying to win a Super Bowl.
Dak Prescott is trying to win a playoff game. They're in different phases, man.
Right.
They're in different phases.
Like, it's never a good thing when we almost dismiss a victory in the playoffs, like we do with Jordan Love, because he beat the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's like we were like, yeah, Jordan Love won a playoff game. Yeah, but it was against the Cowboys.
That's bad.
That's
bad for Dak. That's bad for Dak. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, and I mean this in all sincerity, this is what I do. I let the year play out. If he gets me to the Super Bowl, I pay him. If we get to the playoffs first round, we get bounced. I'm going into the draft. I'm trading all my picks to get the number one pick, and I'm taking the number one quarterback available. And that way I get a cheap contract, and that way I can pay all these dudes. And we can keep the team solid with a very good blue chip prospect. If that's not the plan, I don't know what they do.
I mean, I think this year would be a very fascinating case study, because can you repeat 2020? Can you repeat the Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love, Jalen Hurts draft? Or is this Mac Jones? Is this, those kinds of guys? Just
Trevor, it was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson.
Drew Lock a first round? I don't even remember anymore. But you know what I mean? Like, this particular, because this was the class. I mean, there was like 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. This was the class where the Cowboys could have made a move and they didn't. So I think it's going to be, Dak could prove it this year too. Dak can go out there and ball. Dak can go out there and lead them to divisional NFC champion. You never know. But yeah, the Cowboys, they're in a weird position because they didn't do anything in the offseason. They got Ezekiel Elliott back. They didn't, and they lost Tony Pollard. So it was really, really weird offseason for them. They might be resetting. Maybe they're resetting.
Because I think that's the plan. You play this year out with your head coach. You play this year out with the quarterback. Their contracts end at the same time, and we're gonna let y'all ride off into the sunset. And we hope it's with the Super Bowl, because then we'll bring everybody back. But if it ain't with the Super Bowl, we got to go in a different direction on both fronts.
Right. Well, this is going to be a super, super short uncensored, because I got to leave town as soon as possible to get to this fantasy football draft of mine, which is going to be just nothing but debauchery and stupidity and bad choices all around. But we'll be safe, and we'll be back on Monday. Browner, any final words? You got 20 seconds here.
When you're doing debauchery, never be safe.
When you're doing debauchery, never be safe.
You don't create memories being safe.
Okay.
Take it from a debaucherer.
All right, cool. Talk to everybody on Monday. Peace.
Bye.